Wars fans, hey, there's just 106 days and 12 hours until Christmas 2021. And today, in just about an hour from now, Hasbro's figures are going to be released for pre-order. So we're going to try to keep the stream down to about 45 minutes today so that our guests here can get on all their sites, get the pre-orders in, and you all can be all set. So let me introduce. We've got a lot of folks to join us today. Folks that you all know. We've got Tim from Bossk Bounty. Hello.
Hi there, Santa. How you doing? Good to be here.
Very good. Good to see you. And the only one, Kenobi. Good to see you, my friend.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Oh, fantastic. Excited to bring you in today. And of course, everyone's favorite nemesis, Zuveum. Oh!
Sorry, I was just repainting my Black Series figures. That's what all the cool people do.
Indeed, that's what all the cool people do. Repaints, and repacks. We'll be talking about that a good bit today. But before we turn down that path, I'm curious, what are you all most excited for if you could only get one thing? Now I know you want to get more than one, but if you were locked down to only one thing you could order today.
Only one thing.
Yeah,
only one.
What's it?
Shameless self-promotion there. I am sorry, Santa. Oh my God.
That was really good. What would be your one item, Tim? What would you go for?
Hands down, Bib Fortuna, without a doubt. Don't even need to think about it. What incredible figure that is! Like, just amazing. They've got it. The only little tiny criticism is that it doesn't come with an accessory, so it doesn't have his staff. But I was trying to actually think to myself, like in Return of the Jedi, if he does actually have a staff. I know the original Kenner figure did, so I was thinking about like rewatching Return of the Jedi, even though I've seen it a million times, to see if he actually does have a staff. He has it in the Mandalorian, of course, because they're trying to recreate that whole Kenner figure vibe, which is awesome. But
right.
Obviously it's a Return of the Jedi figure. But apart from that, they've just got that figure absolutely nailed. And yeah, that's my favourite of the reveals, without a doubt.
Very good. What about you, only one? What are you after today?
Without question, in terms of the loose figure, I mean, when I did my thumbnail, that's what I did. I showed all these carded figures, then I had Bib loose because it's such a fantastic new figure. It would be that, if I had to choose anything out of all of that, it would be that Bib Fortuna, without question. Yeah.
Very good. And
awesome.
And Martin, which repaint are you after today?
Well, I was going to say, being a Black Series collector, the one I wanted or have got is the Leia Organa Yavin 4 figure, which they didn't actually announce on the panel.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah. I've got those up, and huge thank you to Martin for sending us all of these promos. But let me show that on screen for folks, because they did not show yesterday all of the figures that they have. So we do have Power of the Force Leia Organa in the Black Series there, and there she is. She looks great, right? The likeness to Carrie Fisher is quite good.
Yeah.
I think they didn't announce because they were up against such strong competition with the rest of the Black Series stuff yesterday. I'm sure they didn't want it to get lost in the mix.
There must have been some kind of deal there, mustn't there? Because obviously some of the guys in the UK got an exclusive, joint reveal with Hasbro UK or something. So
yeah, it was almost like they were getting through their Target and Best Buy exclusive announcements. Yeah. Maybe.
right. For me, I'm after that Force Effects lightsaber. I really want the Rey's lightsaber. I love the switch they put on it. It's really well done. Beats what they released before that had just the regular switch on it, and the dial at the top was static. And there's been some folks that made customs that have that kind of turn effect, but I think they did a really, really good job with it. Excited to get hold of one of those today. And then, of course, with the vintage collection stuff, I've been trying to get my Mandalorian collection up. And the only thing on a new Mandalorian card is that Short Trooper. So you know, I'll
Oh,
get
yeah,
it
I
in
like
the
that.
carbonized, but that's about it. As far as like just in that collection, everything else, I've already got. You know,
Yeah.
I've got a flame trooper. There he is,
Yeah.
right? You know, I've already got I've already got the armor. You know, there she
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
I've already got Moff Gideon, right? like I'm like, come on, everything I've already got, and the only thing that gave me that for the Mandalorian to come out with that Razor Crest is the Shore Trooper, and I still don't even have all the figures from season 1. So, you know, what am I gonna do?
Purely for the carded collectors, those carbonized figures. I really do hope that that's the final wave of them, because
Absolutely.
you know, when they center on like the paintwork of Moff Gideon and how he looks so amazing, like nobody wants a shiny Moff Gideon. He looks great as he is.
Yeah.
So I don't really understand why, you know. And then they mentioned about the armorer already having carbonized pieces of her armor on the original figure, which she kind of does. You don't need to shine her pants up, you know.
I know
don't need to
you've
do
had a
that.
think that for ages, Tim, haven't you?
It's like yeah, they're not my thing. The only one that I will be displaying on the wall is the Shore Trooper, purely because it's different from the other card backs. I don't need the other ones on my wall. He'll go very nicely next to the Death Trooper on that Mando card. So
Right.
Which-
Well, now,
yeah.
you know, Martin mentioned the Leia figure that they didn't show us, but during the live stream yesterday, and they just barely touched on this one. Let me bring this up. They, for the vintage collection, they do have Tebow here, and they announced
Love that
with
card.
yeah, right. That is a really nice. But they really didn't even talk about it, and then. And then there he is again. Thanks to Martin for sending these along. But we did talk about the Emperor yesterday, and that's something that I'll be after if I can get hold of one of those. He looks quite good, but the menacing face—that's all fine. But here's our carbonized stuff, right? With the Incinerator Trooper re-release, just a shiny dude. Here's your shiny pants, Moff Gideon.
Yeah. It's not essential, is it?
No, it's not at all. And the Shore Trooper here is a bit shiny too, but it's the only one that they've released. But there's look at that. I mean,
yeah, that's not good. That is
seriously.
not good.
It
looks like she's wearing tinfoil. She's like wearing a spacesuit.
It's like
terrible.
Wizard of Oz style, isn't it? Yeah.
It's absolutely terrible. I mean, I'm thrilled to death with the one that we have. Right?
Yeah,
There's
great
nothing wrong with her.
Well, it's not disco enough, is it? That's the criticism I think we've heard of throughout the Mandalorian.
Oh
There's not enough disco clothing.
Right.
Thing is, I can understand them doing them last year because there was like a gap in product and they needed to get something out for, you know, we're waiting with bating blood for something from the Mandalorian, and obviously new sculpts take a little while to come through. So they've got these other older figures, repaint them, put something out. But I think they've got enough to be going on. They don't really need to be doing it again. And I don't know.
I've only got one Mandalorian carbonized figure loose, and that's because I had to open her because I damaged the card back, and it's the Cara Dune one, which I know Tim will not agree with this, but the disco pants and all that. But that is a really good figure loose. That, and the face hasn't been carbonized. That looks like a human face, but she's just got a little bit of subtle metallic shine to her. But there's one thing that I said in my reaction video that I think they should have carbonized because it needs it. Is this plain Mandalorian, what is it, VC181, so dull and nothing to it? If they'd carbonized him and sparked him up a bit, I would have loved it. But instead of doing it to Gideon and making his reds or whatever they said, popping out or whatever.
Well, but you see, us Black Series people, we get the muddy Mandalorian.
You do. No, but as bad as we've talked about a lot of this, let me bring him up for folks to see as well. I do think they did quite a good job of it, right? Like
Well, that looked a lot better when in the publicity shots. When she put it down, when she held it to the camera, it did not look good. But when she had it in the publicity shots, I thought they looked really quite interesting because it's obviously you can't beat that Mandalorian helmet. You know, whatever you do to it, mud it up or whatever.
But that's the thing with this repaint is it's a repaint that's actually useful. It's from the scene of the movie. They're recreating something, the series rather. Whereas the carbonized figures are more of a gimmick, aren't they? They're nothing. You know, I can understand why they're doing repaints like that, basically, but I'm just not a fan of the gimmicky ones.
I think with the carbonite, they sold well, certainly initially.
Yeah,
which is always your clue as to whether you get any more.
Yeah,
when they sell well, you're going to get some more. But I can tell by the way that Santa's desperately trying to keep to time because he's not referencing the chat that's going on.
Oh,
which is incredible.
Well, if you watch very many of my streams, and anytime Star Wars Meg gets into the chat, it's no holds barred. And when Nikki and Meg get going back and forth, watch out. It's dangerous out there.
Nikki quite rightly has tuned in for the mansplaining special, which I think is entirely appropriate. I think if anything was going to capture this, it's this. Yeah.
I saw that. I was like, oh no, what have I done? What have I done? And I was gonna and here we go. If we're gonna do one, greatest tragedy, no blurgs.
Blurgs, 12 minutes. You went 12 minutes.
I went 12 minutes without a blurg reference. But only blurg that I can get is this MF blurg right here. Your mission fleet. That's what.
I thought you were going to say MF stood for something else. Then
well,
my favorite.
Fortunately, Hasbro gave me another reason to say MF. But that's the only one I've got. And Tim and I have talked about it, where they don't exist in any of the lines other than Mission Fleet, and it just seems like a tremendous gap, right? Tremendous gap. Honestly, with the Mandalorian season 1 and the Razor Crest, I was really hoping that we would get them because of, not only did you get your Black Series Muddy Mandalorian, right? So you got him, but the episode before that, of course, the blurs, and the blurs were heavily used in season 1, big part of the show, part of the Razor Crest, and the finale, and all of that was great. But where are they? And will we ever get them? Martin loves to give me a hard time.
See, I get accused of being a shill because I said to the guys who haven't been here before, you can't fault Hasbro's marketing genius because they've made Santa buy stuff he doesn't want just so he can get that feeling of I might get it one day.
Right.
I bought one as well.
There you go. You see.
But it was more to do sort of like, see if I could actually make my Mandalorian look good on it, and unfortunately you can't because it's nowhere near big enough. So
no, it's big enough, and it's already got the training there. You can put your Grogu on it, right?
There you go. He fits, yeah.
Right. He fits on there just fine. He looks great, but my goodness, it's just.
Have you got a picture of the new Grogu head sculpt? I saw it on there earlier. Yeah.
Yes, I do. So let's bring that back up. You can see it right here.
You see that face and the hand,
right?
That's what I'm going to look like as I pre-order all this stuff that I don't want. That's pretty much my expression right there. I think they've nailed it quite well.
Oh, that's fantastic! But we were giving them a hard time about the carbonized stuff, but. What about all those Black Series figures with the extra fancy color on them, right?
Oh, the credit collection.
Oh, yeah. I know that for us vintage collection folks, we've got all these shiny carbonized. But look, for you Black Series figure collectors, you got all these really colorful. That I know you're just dying to get these credit collection. Look at that with that purple cape. Just wonderful.
Yeah. It's just bringing back all the memories of why I watched The Mandalorian.
There's Quill with some.
Quill doesn't look any different.
No, that one doesn't. No,
it doesn't, does it?
It looks like someone's gone at them with a spray can, doesn't it? The thing is about the credit collection is that when they first came out last year, I liked them, and I thought, because they came out at the same time as the carbonized vintage collection, and I wished that they had done that in the vintage collection instead of the carbonized, because I love the end credits and I love concept things like that. But I think one wave is probably enough, and they almost look a bit overdone this time. That like the paint, the palette choices are just too outlandish.
Like, look at this card. I don't mind this card because it's reminiscent of the artwork at the end of the scene, at the end of the each show. But what did they do to Moff Gideon? All right, his eyes he's looking down. He's got the closed eyes. Like, you couldn't get a picture of him with his eyes open. I don't understand. Like, that's of all of these. That's by far the worst card. Like, again, that one's
supposed to be a lift from the credits, the concept art, isn't it? But I'm not sure it is. But I think it's supposed to be.
Right.
In theory, they haven't got too many images to choose from. But wow.
But come on. Yeah. I mean, that's just. It's not good. Now, I will say on this armorer one, it's not too bad. It's not terrible, and you do get this. Right, you do get this jetpack.
Prototype jetpack. It's just great, isn't it?
And I was going to say the color scheme there.
Yeah. In fact, whisper it. At least they didn't say it's deluxe because it had a jetpack in it.
That's right.
The thing is, though, if they sell, we're going to keep getting them. That's the reality.
It is, and you know, Martin, you keep giving me a hard time about getting the blurgs. That all these repaints help them with their profitability. But here's the truth of it is, if we keep buying them, we're going to keep getting them.
It's true,
right?
Absolutely.
And, I mean, it's collectors like us who are ordering these things the minute they go on sale, and they're gone, right? So
True.
It's really hard to make a case for give us a blurg when they can give us 4 repaints of Black Series or carbonized. You know, to get these credit collection or the carbonized, and we'll buy them.
Yeah, and there's definitely.
I was sitting there watching it. Oh, sorry, man.
That's right. You go.
I was just going to say, I was sitting there watching it yesterday, and I just thought I'll just pass on this carbonized thing. But then they showed that car back of the Shore Trooper, and I thought, well, that's it. I'm sucked in now because I really did like that. I mean, I could just buy that, but if I'm buying that, I'd have to buy them all really, just because the whole collector is, the set in me, whatever, the completism, whatever. But it's terrible, isn't it? That's me. I'm putting money in their account.
I'm putting my wallet down.
Yeah.
Requested. There you go. But that's the thing. It's like I can sit here and say I don't like them. Am I going to be clambering to pre-order them? Yeah.
Yeah.
Make that the last thing I go for later, by the way. I'll leave them to last. Maybe I'll have a look at that. If it's are they available today? Are they? They are, aren't they? They're part of the.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
It's going live, isn't it today? Isn't it? Yeah.
And we've already had on our Discord. We had somebody say, "Look, they gave us a why did I forget his name? Boba Fett's dad.
Django.
Django. They gave us a Black Series Django Fett.
It's a miscard. A 6-inch miscard, yeah.
Like, Martin, are you going to use that royal blue that they've used on the cape for your Zuveum figure? Is that your color of choice?
That's where I'm heading. I'm going to work my way through. I'm going to do a carbonized one. So I do have when you guys do the tour, you'll see this. But for the Saga Celebration gold figures 2-packs,
yeah,
I actually have a 2-pack of gold Zuvios in the Zuveum.
Oh dear.
I tell you guys, I got to do the tour of the Zuveum. It is absolutely brilliant. You have to go in with a sense of humor and understand what you're getting into, but it is absolutely worth an hour of your time It's great.
It's an hour. It is genuinely an hour.
You've chosen a great focus there, Martin.
It's so good. It is so good. Now, I do want to bring up the Skittles Troopers because of Star Wars Meg. Meg is nice enough when she comes on my live streams to censor herself, and instead of saying what she wants to say, she says Skittles. So
all the colors of the bow, man.
Yeah. So we do have some retro collection Skittles Troopers. I'll be getting one of these just in honor of Star Wars Meg and how well she.
Santa, which color will you be going for?
I don't care.
Are you sure?
You're
you're not rising to that, are you? You're not rising.
No,
to
I'm not going to
go for
order
the purple helmet. You've got to go for the purple helmet every time.
I'll take the random assortment that they send me. That's it.
In the chat, it's all about the purple helmets. If you read the chat, they're correct.
Again, I saw them yesterday. I just thought I might breeze past these. I'll give that a miss. But then again, that card art, I'll tell you what, man.
No, you're not wrong. The card is quite brilliant. I saw your review, and that is the high point of that. The card on that figure is
really
great.
sold me. Prefer that to the other two without a question. But again, the thing is, I don't know how many will get available, but I've got like really limited space, and that's 6 spaces gone. You know what I mean? I'm really packed in here, man, and it's I don't know. If I'm lucky enough to get that, I'll have to get the set. If it's available.
It's like that Shore Trooper card back. It almost looks 3D with the way he's got the gun, sticking out there.
That's very comic-y as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Shore Trooper is for sure one that I'm after today, just because again it's on that Mando card, and we don't have another Shore Trooper on a Mando card, so
you'll get one. You won't need to wait long.
I was going to say.
They're doing the Death Trooper.
Yeah, the mess hall play set they could do. They could have that little, that's where you see them, innit? I'm sure they're in there on season 2 with
right. Yeah. Now they did mention. I saw in the chat somebody mentioned the IG-11, and they do have. Again, they didn't really talk about it, did they? But he is in the release. Let me find it. There he is, IG-11. And again, they're sending these in a pack, right? Like you.
It's because IG-11, Lando, and Tebow were already revealed a while ago. We're just waiting for the Emperor to be the fourth figure in that wave.
Yeah. Same.
So all we really saw on yesterday's live stream was the card backs. We hadn't seen those yet for those 3. So I guess they just breeze over it, don't they?
Yeah.
But whereas we're like, whoa, look, there's the card backs,
Yeah, Mark. They'll keep dishing out Skittles figures, right? And they really should. Look, Hasbro really should do a marketing deal with Skittles, and just market them that way.
I wasn't sure if they'd change any card backs. They kept IG-11 the same, but obviously this is the point I was trying to make in the video. If it wasn't clear, because I was just sort of waffling on. There you go. See, there's obviously a change in the child between the the retro and the vintage or whatever. Obviously, that's. Something to do with bubble size, maybe. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Does anyone else find it weird that they haven't done the carbonized IG-11?
Well, that's the obvious choice, isn't it?
like they need that idea. We hadn't thought of that one, Martin.
Oh, so that was in the back pocket already. We're just
wait until next year, Martin, for the next wave.
Well, they did kind of float out that they were going to try to do something else again this month. Yeah.
Yeah, I caught hold of that. They said that we'll have more reveals at the end of the month, which is before PulseCon. So wow. I thought by now they would just save everything for PulseCon, but. A few more bits.
I was going to say, I think we're into convention season, so there'll be a steady trickle of things that get released randomly.
Repacks and repaints up until PulseCon. Really, that's all I think I'm expecting at this point. Right? It's just so little new stuff. In fact, even and I heard, you mentioned earlier. Tim mentioned that this is his guy, right? Bib Fortuna. Look at he that. Is these re-releases, right? These repacks are way past due. Bib Fortuna, he needed an update, And the same thing with look at that Lando. I
Yeah.
I
Look
love
at
the
head
cape
sculpt
there.
on that. My word. Looks
Really,
exactly
really
like
nice.
him, doesn't it?
It's really nice. And Lobot, of course, is getting a lot of updates. Again, these figures have been available before. It's not like you can't go find them, but they did need an update. And the photoreal paint, the sculpt is really, really good.
They
So
need to belong to this with this card back. You know what I mean? That's what they need. Is bring them into it. That's thank God they've done it. You know.
yeah, I think they're all really good, way past due, and I'm glad they're doing it. But on a day where all you're releasing are repaints on these credit collection and carbonized, there's just like where's the fan first part of it, right? Like it was supposed to be you had this alliteration fan first Fridays. Since Disney Plus is doing their releases on Wednesdays now, they just moved it to Fan First Wednesday. I didn't sense a real strong vibe of fans first. I got, give us your money to get repaints.
Well, I think the live stream started here, and then it went like this, and they almost lost me, and then it went like this for us. Well, for vintage collection people, you know, I don't think the Black Series collectors really got too much that they could be excited about. But then I think that
it's a bit of a seesaw, though, isn't it? It kind of
yeah. But I think like Bib Fortuna, for example, was pipelined for the Black Series as well. So you'll probably see him either at the end of the month or in PulseCon or whatever, and he will just he'll be as good, if not better, than the vintage collection offering because he's a bigger scale. But but then again, I'm thinking that the vintage collection's almost on par in quality these days anyway. So
well, it could be that you've got this guy saw everything yesterday, and you'll get everything at the con. You know, it's
the con could be heavily Black
we
Series.
Could get absolutely nothing. I felt like we got quite a lot put on the plate yesterday.
Right. And well, the big thing for vintage collectors too, and folks are fairly happy about these army builds are great.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I love the packaging, you guys. I think they did a really good job here, and that you get a nice little squad of stormtroopers.
I mean, these guys are going on my Mando shelf because of that pauldron. You see, that's like when you see. I mean, apart from the Sand Troopers. That's kind of the one, and in the sequels you see a lot of orange pauldrons, but that's the one time you see a guy with an orange one, I think, running around, isn't it?
Right, absolutely. So I think even as a Black Series collector, I think the reveal of the first sort of army building pack, to go to your point, that was probably the bit that was fan related more than anything, because that can only have come about due to fans saying, "That's what I want."
The community's been going on about it for ages.
Yeah, right. So that was probably the big reveal for me.
Yeah,
right.
And I think it's a huge step. It's got to be the beginning of something. It can't be a one-off.
I hope so.
Yeah,
and for your Black Series, you did get a jet trooper from Battlefront, so it's quite good, right? It's quite good. I see some people happy about that guy. Yeah,
he's all right. I think, have you got the picture of him, actually the figure looking slightly disappointed? There's one picture where he's like going. I thought the best bit though was when they said, when they were hyping it and they went, "You've already had like Count Kestis, then you had Zalibar." Like everyone was going, "Oh yes, of course we've had Zalibar."
I knew you were really excited about
that. Was the one.
Zalibar.
You got me with Gaming Greats then.
Oh my goodness. Well, and I saw some early predictions that they might build on that Heir to the Empire, right? We had Luke Skywalker from Heir to the Empire, some of the Legends figures that were really, really good. And how hard would it be to do a couple more Heir to the Empire kind of things? It'd be great to get more of that content.
The book ones.
Yeah.
I think, again, if people have bought them, and from what I understand, they bought a lot, they're going to carry
on with it. Thing on that,
All right, these are great. I think they're wonderful.
I watched the end of Rebels. I finally got through Rebels season 4, and you see the TVC Royal Guards or whatever, and you can have that alternative get up or whatever. I really want to open. I've got a couple through there, Black Series ones. I'm going to open now and then have them, without the robe and everything, so you can see the Imperial Kargan. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Right. So I mean, it's just I don't know. I can understand wanting to save for the PulseCon, but really, I was largely disappointed yesterday. There are some nice buys in there for sure. There's some really nice buys in there for sure. But the carbonized and the credit collection stuff, to me, is a miss.
Yeah. Just going back to that Trooper pack. I mean, I touched on it in my video yesterday. The thing that pleases me about that the most is that for ages it's almost like the vintage collection is held up 3.75. Without the vintage card, 3.75 would die basically. And this now is like, here you go, collectors of people that build armies and still collect 3.75 that don't want the card. They're not bothered about the card. It's all about the loose collection and the world building.
Yeah.
So it's something that's not relying on the nostalgia of the vintage card in 3.75 inch scale, and that to me shows that 3.75 is back, which is flipping brilliant for me and for Nick. But
Tim, you do want that orange one on a card, like you said.
I do.
Which card I want to know? Is it a Mandalorian? I say that fight with Boba Fett, the guy. I'm sure he had an orange one.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Well, it opens up so much. They could put the Rebel Fleet Troopers in there, so for your hallway, the people that've got the hallway finally, because you only get the one on there in that set, so they can do 4 of them.
Oh yeah.
They could do. They could do. It's endless what they could do with those packs.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. I do hope that is the start of something, and that we'll see it in the Black Series as well. And army builds are great.
And it's a reasonable price, isn't it? It's 4 figures and 6 accessories, isn't it? For $42 is what they're selling it.
Right.
And Hasbro are going to love it as well because it's no plastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it fits in with that,
Right.
And the environmentalists.
that's no, but so for example,
they made that commitment, haven't they?
So I don't want to go on about it too much because I know other people are like waiting for theirs. But the Antop Merrick X-Wing, there is no plastic in the box. There's no baggies. There's no nothing. It's all in like paper envelopes. So.
Do you remember the Tanty 4, the panic? Like, where's my pegs, man? Where's my
exactly.
Pegs?
Yeah. So
it's like the paper thing, isn't it?
I do want to bring up. They did give us an update on the Razor Crest, and I'm part of the forum of folks who ordered them, and they've been asking for updates. We finally did get an update. We get this box. The box isn't going to win any design awards by any means. It's a box. Look, it's got pictures on it. It's a box. But so again,
I love the box. I love it.
I was going to say, I hope more than anything now it does win design awards.
No, it's certainly not.
Just so we can play this back.
No, it's certainly not going to win any design awards. But it was good to get an update on it. Kind of unfortunate. We have to wait till next year to get it. It'll be in the spring. Not tremendously surprised by that. A little bit let down by it, I suppose. Again, with the theme being Fan First Wednesday. It wasn't great news.
Was one of the reasons because they thought they'd sold more than they expected?
I don't think that was a great reason. I think that was a mistake.
Yeah, they sounded behind. What did they say a couple of months ago? They said something. It kind of get what? You're only up to that stage? I can't remember what it was.
I was going to say, I don't think it would have been unreasonable to say we're living in strange times.
Yeah, or just blame the shipping crisis or whatever.
You ordered too many, so now you have to wait.
But they should talk to Santa because there's a whole. You guys need to see the chat. There's a whole thing about how he gets his work done, and how he treats his elves.
Oh no!
And the oppression that comes with that.
I do take quite a bit of abuse.
You wouldn't be late, would you, Santa?
Oh no!
You wouldn't turn up in January, would you?
No, we deliver all of them go out just primarily one night. We're able to get the toys to all the children in just one night, and And
That
and
is-
we
Doesn't
don't.
matter how many elves he sacrifices to hit that
I was
deadline.
going to say
He'll do it.
that is one hell of a sweatshop. That is,
Yeah.
isn't it?
We certainly don't push Christmas into February. That's not going to happen. That's not gonna. That's not going to happen. Oh my goodness. I know, and I'm watching the time. We want to try to be conscientious because as much complaining, Martin is going to go buy all of them. Yeah. It's going to happen. I do want to bring up this lightsaber. I think it's absolutely brilliant. I mentioned at the top. This is the one thing that I'm super excited about, and it's because it is so good. I like the cloth wrap on there, and as they pointed out, the more you kind of use it, the more that gets worn and kind of gets that lived in effect. And it's even got the little light feature there.
That was the best thing for me. The light through there. That's great.
And the switch is the actual turning switch. I think is absolutely brilliant. It's fantastic. I'm super excited for it. And being a Force Effects Elite, I'm supposing that you can buy other blades if you want. You don't want the yellow blade. You saw Star Wars Meg's video today about the obsession with yellow blades. If you want to get a green blade or a red blade and put it in this hilt, I'm sure that you can make that happen. Right?
Will you be getting that, Santa?
I will be. I will be getting that. That's the one thing that I'm really excited to get. And then that Shore Trooper is a Walmart exclusive, so I'll be trying to get hold of that.
I know it's the difference there. I'll be trying to get that.
Right,
It's a Walmart exclusive. Yeah,
it is a Walmart exclusive. It's better than being a Target exclusive because those are rubbish. They're terrible. I ordered.
Have you seen what X-Wing's just done?
Oh no! X-Wing. I'm buying that saber, and I'm gonna like it.
This is. I better not tell Emma, my wife, about this. If I set up a YouTube channel for people to send me money to not buy things, she'll set that channel up in a second.
And right over there is why we switched over to Melon. Is I've got Streamlabs alert set up, and you can see that alert came up there for that super chat. We've got the dancing snowtrooper on there with that Santa hat on. It's fantastic. The X-Wing. Thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. It's really good. Yeah, Nikki says I'll buy it with my shill money, and we love to give Martin a hard time about being our resident shill, defending Hasbro on all these repaints. But
they've done a magnificent job.
I like that comment from Daniel Chart there. That's how I feel. I think it's a lovely looking lightsaber. That, by the way, you can't knock that. But how they dealt with the story of that, we won't get into this now because it's a heavy topic. But still, I can only half love that saber, I'm afraid.
I absolutely love the sequels. I love Rey, and I'm really excited to be getting this saber. And the pipeline reveal of getting Leia's saber next was pretty good too. I'm really looking forward to that getting released. And again, people complain because that's going to more kind of underpin the sequels. That Leia's saber, you see it only in Rise of Skywalker there, but it would be great to see that. And I expect that Leia's saber will sell out really quickly, as it did at Galaxy's Edge. They released that 2-pack with Luke and Leia's sabers, and it come in that wrap that Rey buried them in
as well, didn't it?
Yeah.
Just need the Mandalorian season 3 to retcon it even more and bring Leia into. Leia will be in season 3 with Luke.
Iron out those creases, yeah.
Like they'll be throwing Grogu to each other like that,
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. No, I absolutely love it, and I'm excited for it. And I expect that Rey's saber will sell quite well. They did a really good job of it, and it's a unique saber in that switch turning that way, and I think they
So I've just seen
executed
Meg's
it well.
comment, which I can guarantee no way, shape, or form is Santa going to put on the screen.
Put it up. Put it up.
Meg is lovely. I absolutely love.
Dak
Oh my
Ralton.
goodness! I thought for a second you were going to do it. Then I saw something come up, and I thought, what?
That came back. That came back.
I love Meg. She's fantastic. I love her content. She's a star in the Star Wars community, and it's really a privilege to have her around. But boy, she gives me a hard time. She she tries to embarrass me, and she does quite a good job of it on a regular basis. So we've kind of highlighted. We haven't talked about the pipelines much. I just mentioned Leia's saber and that force effects. Martin, on the Black Series pipeline, what do you think?
Yeah. So just to get rid of any of my shill credentials here, what the hell are they doing announcing Archive as a pipeline?
Yeah, that was weird.
That's beyond lame. That is beyond lame. Pipeline is supposed to be, this is what you didn't know was coming, and this is what we're working on. So to say, hey, here's a pipeline, everyone. It's figures you've probably already got, but if you haven't, you'll be able to buy them again through the well-recognized Archive collection.
Yeah.
So the pipeline was, we're carrying on with the Archive collection. Okay.
Do you think they do
I don't
that
know what
sometimes
they're-
to like avoid leaks and stuff? Because those figures were getting rumored, and
I think they
maybe
do.
just thought they'd get it out
yeah.
there. And
I think they do, but I think, they could have just said the Archive line's going to come out. Because
Well, yeah.
they've said, we're pipelining the Archive line having these
Yeah,
figures. Well,
it was strange.
What work are they going to do on it other than make
yeah,
them?
yeah. They could
Right.
have showed the figures, couldn't they?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Instead of
you do
pictures
have
of them.
Dengar coming, and that 501st figure people are excited about. For vintage collectors, the pipeline, what do you think?
Well, again, we had a couple of things that were, repacks or whatever, and they're never going to do what I want, which is to do an alternative card back for them, or maybe they will, but they've got the 501st and that Yoda. And Tim, you said you thought it was going to be an Empire Strikes Back card back. I really hope not, because we've had it so much. This one, I think you mean, don't you, Tim? That one and that image. I want them to do the alternative image where he's looking,
Yeah.
the master card back. That would be just great. Just something different,
I would love that too, but it will be that card back because they'll want it to tick off the 96, and that's the 96, isn't it?
But I suppose, Tim, you're right. I mean, it's quite funny. We don't have a Yoda in the vintage collection. I mean, this is the vintage original trilogy. I consider this one and the same beast. But
But
I
it won't be
suppose
that.
that's
It won't be
what
that
we can
figure.
argue.
It'll be the Cave of Evil figure, which is also the Black Series figure, which is loads.
Yeah,
better,
which is a nice figure,
loads
that.
better. Yeah,
Toy Palloy once said to me, he said it's too tall or whatever. But I thought that was a really well sculpted face of Yoda anyway. So that'll be good to get that on the vintage card back, like it should have been back then anyway.
And X-Wing's not wrong. Not a helmet in the whole collection yesterday. Not one.
Well, we've talked about the proto range, I mean,
Right.
extensively.
It's just look. I don't know that I was. And I said this yesterday as well. Look, here I am complaining. I'm gonna dump about $400 today on stuff, and I'm not exaggerating, right? Like it's gonna be $250 for the saber, and it's gonna
right balance situation. Yeah,
it's another $40 for the army build. I'm almost $300 right there, and that's if I don't get in my shore troopers and anything else. So look, I'm going to spend over $300 and complain about this stuff I didn't get, but it leads to a point where I do think that the PulseCon is going to give us a bunch of new stuff. At least I hope. That's my wish. Who knows? Maybe I'll get something more than an MF blurg. I'll get an actual a vintage collection or Black Series blurg. But I'm not going to hold my breath for that. But I would love it. But if we get a bunch of stuff on the PulseCon, there goes another slew of orders.
And some other bits in between.
yeah. He said, didn't he? He said that it's still going to be a packed fall.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I think there'll be more 50th anniversary stuff as well.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to. That might even end up running into next year when the actual anniversary isn't on. So
I think the clue with the 50th is when they finally say this is the last product from the 50th anniversary, because they're usually pretty good at signaling that. So yeah, I think there's still more to come.
yeah.
And Rachel's in here to tamp us down just a little bit. Don't get too excited about PulseCon. I don't know. I'm going to continue to hold out hope. And Tim, I asked you this, and we're going to try to wrap it up now. It's a quarter till. If you get if you get one thing to wish for, so I asked Tim on his birthday, you get a wish for one thing for PulseCon. What would you wish for? And I'll ask each of you, what's the one thing you wish for PulseCon, either in a reveal or pipeline?
Well, as I'm on your show, it's the blurg. There you go.
Thank you. Very good answer, Tim. Very good. You'll be invited back. Thank you.
That was the plan. That was all the plan.
What about you, only one Kenobi?
Oh, you put me on the spot here. I wish I'd had a bit of pre-warning on this one. Mine's gone completely blank. There's lots of stuff I want. They're never going to do Dooku, but I'd like. Well, maybe they would, because you've got next year is the 2022 is the 20th anniversary, right? So, but yeah, Dooku's all you needed on a vintage card.
Very good, very good. And Martin.
So 2 answers for me. I'm going to cash in on it. The figure I want is the Holiday Zuveum, which will happen one day. It will happen. But also, just to annoy you, as long as they don't announce the blurg, I'll be happy.
Well, that would be awesome.
And I still invite Martin back time and time again. Makes you wonder. No, and I know Mark has asked for Rebels, right? Like if they would give us a HasLab project of some the Ghost and crew, like the add-ons, you could get the Ghost with the Ghost crew. That would be really big for the vintage collection folks. I think just for Star Wars fans as a whole, like Rebels, and we've mentioned this on lots of our shows, is it's central to a lot that we're getting in the Mandoverse. All right, the Mandalorian ties back to Rebels with Ahsoka, Sabine, all those, Bo-Katan, and if you we Bad Batch, we got introduction. Right.
Yeah, I have to say I really, really do want the Rebels Ghost to be made, only because Mark made that promise that if they deliver that, he'll never ask for anything ever again.
Yes,
Ghost.
That's exactly it. Mark said he'll never ask for another thing ever again if he gets the Ghost, and I believe that lasts for about an hour. And then he'll be thinking of the things that he wants to go with the Ghost that they didn't release with the right.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I do want to be respectful. I know we do want to get out there and get our orders.
Guilty purchases.
Oh my goodness, it's so good. And for the folks in the chat, sorry I haven't been able to focus too much on it, but you guys have been great. And X-Wing, thank you for the super chat. Of course, Star Wars Meg. And I hope Meg gets her merch store back up. I do have a Mega mug, and that's one of my most prized things that I come across. I've got it in the dishwasher right now because I've used it. So
Meg's actually says something really nice about Tim. You can't let that go because it's not rude or anything like that. So
look, when Meg says something nice, you got to highlight it.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. Thank you.
We are big fans. And
I'm very bashful. I'm very bashful now.
Big fans of all of you guys. Thank you so much. And again, if you've not checked out the Zuveum, it is a real thing. The Zuveum exists. It's not just a joke. It's quite entertaining. A great time to spend going through and getting.
That's the best review I've ever had. It's quite entertaining.
It is. It is. It's so good. It's so good. You will guaranteed to have a good time going through the Zuveum. It's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. And have you guys seen it, Tim or only one? Have you seen it?
Martin said he was going to give me a tour. Yeah, so I will watch the video. But you said you had an actual tour. So
I've got an actual tour. Yeah, it's a virtual tour. So
Oh, right, okay.
I'll hook up with you guys straight after
Yeah, that'd be
this.
awesome. Yeah, yeah.
We'll set up a date. We can do it together.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Well, with that, my friends, I think I'll go ahead and we'll close out. Thank you so much. And hopefully we'll be able to do this after the PulseCon. I would love to get you guys on and we can do this again sometime.
Thanks for having me.
Subscribe to
Thanks for
everyone's
having us. Yeah,
channels.
great.
I haven't got one, so everyone's channels.
Well, I did put a link to Bossk bounties in the description as well as only one Kenobi, and I almost put a link to Martin Keeler's, but you've got like 4 subscribers, so I was like,
Oh yeah, that's my private channel. That's not for public consumption.
right. So I used good judgment. I did not put that in the link. So thank you so much. You guys have a wonderful day. I wish you well on your purchases today. Hope you're able to get everything that you're after. And everybody in the chat, thank you for being here. And we'll see you next time. Until then, my friends, Merry Christmas, and may the force be with you always.